In one of the earlier chapters that we talked about, specifically with demand and supply, we talked about one of the reasons for the downward sloping demand curve was the law of diminishing marginal utility. Meaning that as I get consecutive units of a good, the satisfaction, the reward, the happiness that I get from that particular good will decrease. And we said that then, and we want to explore this particular subject or topic just a little further. When you go into a McDonald's, let's say, and you order, conventionally you would order a hamburger, fries, and a Coke or something like that. What makes you choose that? Well, the reason is because the second hamburger does not give you the same amount of happiness as that first hamburger did. And therefore, you want to use, instead of using your income to buy that second hamburger, which provides no variety, it doesn't give you as much happiness, you take that money and you buy a French fry with it. Or maybe you do buy 2 hamburgers, but you probably wouldn't buy a third. Again, you want to allocate or distribute your money so that you can get complete satisfaction, complete happiness from all the goods that you consume. So therefore, the idea of the law of diminishing marginal utility states that as we get consecutive units of a good, the happiness, the satisfaction, the reward that we get from that good, the consumption of that good will go down. We take a look at this. I have a quantity of a particular good. We'll call it tacos. When you eat 0 tacos, you get 0 degree of happiness. Obviously, because you haven't consumed any. When you eat the first unit of taco, you get a total of 10 utils, if we can quantify that. And we're just putting numbers down here. The second unit, you get a total between the first and the second of 18. The third, you get 24 between all 3. However, what we want to take a look at is the extra happiness that you get from the consumption of a particular good. Another name for extra, another name for additional, is called marginal. Marginal represents the change in the total. So we're going to take our new total and simply subtract it from our old total. And therefore, when we have this situation here, when we went from 0, eating 0 tacos to 1 taco, our degree of happiness went up by 10 utils. And therefore, we get this by simply subtracting our new total, 10, minus our old total, which is 0. When we consumed the second degree, the second unit of tacos, I only got 8 additional degrees of happiness from absorbing that or consuming that particular good. 18 minus 10. My new total minus my old total is equal to my marginal. The next is 24 minus 18, which gives us 6, 4, 2, 0, and finally a negative 2. At that point, you're pretty much throwing up your tacos, if you will. Although they are giving me, at each unit, they are giving me more, they are giving me happiness, each additional unit gives me less and less and less. And therefore, I want to go and I want to choose something else. Because something else could give me 10 degrees of happiness or 8 degrees of happiness that I might want to choose from. All right? So this gives you the idea of the law of diminishing marginal utility. Earlier, we said that the law of diminishing marginal utility states that as I get consecutive units of a good, the degree of happiness that I get from that particular good will decrease. So therefore, we have to take a look and we have to think to ourselves, of all the goods that are out there, all the goods I can choose from, what goods will I purchase? Well, we have to take a look at 4 assumptions. First of all, we all exhibit rational behavior. You might be in the market for a new car. I doubt that anybody would go out and look for a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something like that. That is not exhibiting rational behavior. We are all constrained by our income. We are all on a budget, and everything that we purchase because resources have been utilized to make those particular goods are now cost money. And we have distinct preferences between one particular good over another particular good. In this particular situation, I have an income of $10. I'm going to choose between two goods. One is apples, one are oranges, the other one is oranges. Apples cost $1 per apple, oranges are $2 per apple. In order to compare, in order for us to decide what goods to choose, you would think that oranges, because oranges are twice as much as apples, should give us 2 times the degree of happiness. So therefore, the playing field is not even, and we have to make that playing field even. And in order for us to do this, we have to put the goods in terms of the marginal utility that we get of the good divided by the dollar value of that good. I have the quantity of apples that we have, the quantity, and we have kind of a little chart up here. The quantity of the good, in this case, the marginal utility of apples. When I eat the first apple, my marginal utility, which again decreases, is 10, 8, 7, 6, and so forth. But in order to make the playing field equal, I have to put the marginal utility in terms of a dollar value. So in this case, the marginal utility per dollar of apple is 10, which is 10 divided by 1, 8, which is 8 divided by 1. This is the price of the apple. The price of the apple, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3. However, oranges, being that they're $2, the first unit of orange gives me 24 degrees of happiness. But it costs me $2. It costs me twice as much as an apple. So therefore, again, to make the playing field level, I have to take the 24 and divide it by the price. My marginal utility per price of the orange. So 24 divided by 2 is equal to 12. 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. 18 divided by 2 is equal to 9. 8, 6, 3, and 2. 3 and 2. Okay? So therefore, these particular columns are a necessity when describing or when trying to calculate the number, the amount of a product or products that I will purchase. So now I'm concerned with, out of my income, how will I decide what particular goods to buy? Out of all the goods that are in a store, what goods do I buy? Well, we have a rule. It's called the utility maximizing rule. That rule states that I will spend my last dollar on all the goods that give me the same marginal utility per dollar of the good. That provide me with the same. In other words, that my marginal utility per unit of the good, per dollar value of the good, is going to